Hey everyone, welcome back to Week Ahead Astrology Breakdown. I'm Matthew Oliver with Stillwater Alchemy, and this week is relatively straightforward because the only planet that is changing signs is the moon. So this is also a great opportunity for you to look at your natal chart to track where the moon is in those houses throughout the week to really get a fuller understanding of what it means when the moon is in said house in your natal chart. Before we jump into that, a few announcements. Number one, please listen to your body, get the rest, because we're still integrating from that full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. If you'd like, the workshop is available. I'll put the description in the link below. If you want to have access to that, the meditation is a vibe, if I do say so myself. But remember, if your body needs a rest, it needs that time to integrate, it needs that time to vent in the dream realm so you can learn all these new things. You have the time and space to be still, to receive, for your mind to shift and recalibrate. You need this time. So to think that I have to work to get ahead, we want to honor the feminine. We want to honor the moon and what you just went through during this eclipse. So if at the start of the week you're feeling exhausted, it's even in the transits right at the start of the week, be sure to prioritize the rest accordingly. All right. Number two, I'm going to be in California very soon in November through December. So I'm going to be in LA, available for one-on-one in-person readings between November 19th and 29th, and then in Palm Springs between December 1st and 5th. So if you want to book an in-person reading, please let me know and I will make that happen. And then lastly, I do have space for distance, Zoom, FaceTime readings. You can check out my availability on my website, okay? So with that being said, let's talk about the greatest victory of the week. My greatest victory, which is actually really profound. I'm sure many of you had this experience before at different parts of your journey. For me, it was this acceptance of time and not needing to rush certain things. And there's really no need to stress out about when things need to happen. I've been feeling that more and more, but I feel like it fully landed this week. And Venus right now is in Virgo. And Virgo rules my ninth house, where you can find higher thinking, higher learning mindset. And I was like, oh yeah, like what's meant for me is meant for me, whether it happens tomorrow, 5 years, 10 years, I can't miss out. And just allowed me to fully relax this week, take the time I needed to sleep because I slept a lot as per expected with this lunar eclipse. So that just felt really good in my body once the mind fully came to that realization, because I can be quite ambitious, quite determined, but I can also be ambitious and determined in getting the rest that I need. And it truly is a game changer. And so many downloads come through and you're just able to do so much work in such a more conducive time, which I know we all know, but being on the other side, I promise you it's a vibe. Now, to talk about another greatest victory that was submitted from last week's video from Linda George 3303. My greatest victory, or rather celebration, the friends and family I have supporting me as a single parent. My daughter broke her leg at the beginning of October and is in a wheelchair due to being in a full-length cast. Sending prayers, Linda. Everything is taken care of and I can focus on her care. We are actually looking at 9 weeks total in a cast. It's a journey, thankfully, a smooth one due to those around me. So I think that is a beautiful victory, a victory of love. Is there a greater victory? I'm not sure. But this is also a beautiful reminder that love and support is around us at all times, whether it be from physical humans, friends, family, community, divine support that's all around us, financial support, support from our body, from the food that we eat, from Mama Nature. So these are all just things as well that if you're wanting more support, we can ask for it, knowing that it's all around us. And then when we are fully in the recipient of that support, to be still, to be grateful, to appreciate it, to allow more of it in the future. So Linda, love that. Thank you for submitting it. And I'm sure all of us are sending love and prayers to your daughter to have a speedy recovery, that it even exceeds the doctor's timelines of how fast she can heal. All right. So let's jump into the week ahead, shall we? Boom. As I said, we're tracking the moon this week. So Monday, October 30th, the moon is in Gemini. Right away, we see that square to Saturn. So this is where I was saying where you might be reprioritizing your energy, your time, your resources. Be very cognizant of that. Remember last week we talked about Mars's opposition to Jupiter. It's still within a 3-degree orb here, but it is separating. But we also have this really tight conjunction still between Mercury and Mars. So there might be something that you are really driven, really focused, maybe even obsessed with. Obsession isn't a bad thing. It's like fully embodied and fully passionate about one topic, but just be careful that you're not burning out or that you're not burning the candle on both ends, so to speak, that we are wanting to ensure that your energy is still conducive and still balanced. Now with the moon in Gemini for the start of the week, Monday, Tuesday, and part of Wednesday, it's the only planet that we have in an air sign, right? So there could be a lot of ideas, a lot of creativity, a lot of connection that is happening. This can also be something where you're thinking of where do I want to connect? Who do I want to spend time with as you've thus integrated and are still processing this lunar eclipse, right? Because it was still a full moon lunar eclipse. So there potentially was something that you were letting go of that didn't make you feel safe or secure, right? Those key Taurus themes. So just think about that, where you're wanting to allocate resources and connection so that you can go even deeper into whatever area or to train more fiercely in whatever area of your life, arena of your life that you're currently battling in. That's going to be a really big focus. And please, like I said at the start, if you need the rest, take it on Monday. Now, Tuesday, we kind of have this loose T square between the moon in Gemini, Venus in Virgo, and Neptune in Pisces. So this is one of those days where one thing you see in the news or social media could make you spiral, feel insecure, especially with Mercury in Gemini. It can give that verbose, overthinking, over speaking type energy. So if you're feeling apt and you're wanting to support people, being very social on social media, promoting in your workspace, in your community, it will go a long way. Because I feel like a lot of people will need someone to speak to, someone to process their emotions with, especially remember emotional energy with all this Scorpio and Pisces energy being activated. So if you're in a space to be a healer, to be a soundboard, you may be putting out a lot of fires. This can also bring up a lot of insecurity as well. Like, be very careful of the conversations you do have. And I would be cutting energy cords, clearing your energy if you see a news story that affects you very deeply and you don't want to carry that energy throughout the day. Because remember, Neptune can really dissolve boundaries. It can make us feel more intensely very quickly. And Venus is getting closer and closer to that direct opposition to Neptune. So a way that you can flip this is with so much mutable energy being activated Tuesday and then also Wednesday, is that you're wanting to shift how you do things. I'll give a really quick example. So one day this week, I had a lot going on. It was one of those days where you're just like booked every single hour. So when I woke up first thing in the morning, I was like, okay, I really need to clean, but I really want to enjoy my coffee. So I'm going to put on my favorite robe. I'm going to drink my coffee as I vacuum my entire place. I had never done that before ever, like drinking my coffee in one hand, Dyson in the other, in my cute little green robe. But I got a lot done. I was able to enjoy my coffee in between moving from room to room. And within like 16, 17 minutes, I was able to get it all done. I'm like, great, this is one less thing I have to worry about. And I was able to still have my coffee. Now I can shower. Now I can get my day going. Also, I'm not sure if any of you do this as a sidebar, but cleaning to alleviate stress, cleaning to shift the energy, cleaning at the start of the day, even if it was just like wiping things down or like in a certain room, to bring in greater energy, to bring in more clear and pure energy. Maybe it's Venus currently in Virgo that's manifesting this energy, but I find it personally makes a difference. And when you walk into a clean space, whether it's a restaurant, a spa, a doctor's office, you probably feel a lot safer. You probably feel like you're in good hands. Your soul, your subconscious feel like it's in good hands to manifest, to bring you in if it's walking into a clean space. So maybe on Tuesday, you're going to clean a little bit or shift your energy or do something different to attract your dreams. Maybe you're going to read a different book or listen to a different podcast, switching it up, right? That's really key for mutable energy. And now we're also getting the sun within a 3-degree orb of Jupiter. That's going to be getting more and more exact as we reach Friday. So just know that there's going to be big opportunity, big ideas, big or more benevolent energy that's available to you. So we want to make sure that we're well rested, that we're in a good space, that we're in a clean space to allow these new, fresh, benevolent ideas in. Okay. When we get to Wednesday, we have the moon finishing off her transit in Gemini. She's also thus still in aspect to that square with Neptune. So just be mindful here that Wednesday could still feel very emotionally sensitive, emotionally raw. But then later on Wednesday, depending on your time zone, the moon will move into Cancer, which is really great. So you will probably feel a distinct difference in your energy on Wednesday from maybe overthinking or having a lot going on to dropping into your heart space or just feeling more emotionally in tune. Because once the moon moves into Cancer, we're going to have 6 planets in water signs, which is great. This is the type of energy where you can really manifest very quickly because you're going to want to feel how you want to feel when that thing is done, whether it's you're wanting to feel beautiful, safe, expansive, intelligent, whatever that energy is. There's likely to have been some connection or some idea that came through Monday, Tuesday, in the first part of Wednesday for then that emotion to be settled on or to go deeper with on the later part of Wednesday. So if we're just going like Wednesday moving into Thursday, we now have the moon in Cancer, and we have this beautiful trine between the moon in Cancer and the sun in Scorpio, having both luminaries in water signs. The moon is in her home sign of Cancer. This could be an opportunity in whatever area of your life to go deeper into the work or go deeper into a relationship or go deeper into a creative project. It's this invitation for you to really feel and embody. It was kind of what I said at the start of this video, where I really just was able to accept and to feel this energy of surrender in the best possible way, of like not connecting to a timeline, not needing to put additional pressure on myself to succeed. I just get to enjoy each moment for what it is. That can be an energy that you feel into where you just feel so comfortable, so good, so in flow with where you're at in life. And then we also have the moon, and this was like partly Wednesday afternoon and evening as well, with the moon in Cancer in those early degrees making a trine to Saturn. So there might be a deeper commitment being made. There might be a deeper commitment to the rest, or to a feminine prospect, right? With the moon in Cancer, there could be a deeper connection with a feminine figure in your life. There could be a deeper connection with health and body goals. So just be aware of if you're feeling like you want to invest more time, more energy, more discipline, more mastery into a certain part of your life, and you feel really strongly about this, trust that feeling, trust that intuition, because it's so activated Wednesday afternoon moving into Thursday that it's going to be hard to miss. And we also have here the moon making this sextile to Jupiter. And this is really strong again because Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. The moon is exalted in Taurus. So there is that mutual reception. So this adds to this benevolence, this extraordinary feeling, this deep intuitive knowing. So please trust yourself. Trust what your body is feeling. This could be such a random download that you're like, I don't know why, but I feel called to watch this TV show for the upteenth time. I don't know why, but I feel like calling this friend from a year ago. Trust those intuitive hits. Jupiter also aids in a lot of healing, and Scorpio itself is going deeper to identify the root cause for that alchemy or that phoenix rising to be reborn. So if there is some kind of healing closure, again, we're wrapping up eclipse season, this could be a beautiful time for that activation to occur. Now, Friday is also an amazing day. We see this grand water trine between moon in Cancer, Mercury in Scorpio, and Neptune in Pisces. This is where like dreams could be popping off, like physical dreams and the physical reality, your dream realm, deep intuitive downloads. If you are an artist or want to channel that muse of inspiration, creativity for any industry or any job, this is the moment. It's like that movie, which one is it? Half-Blood Prince in Harry Potter, where he takes the luck potion. And he's like, I just need to go to Hagrid's. And they're like, no, Harry, we need to do this. He's like, no, I just have a feeling we need to do this. That gets this type of energy on Friday, which is amazing. We love that it's Friday, Venus's day. We also have the moon making the sextile to Venus. So moon making a sextile to Neptune. Like there's just so many activations here that are very, very benevolent, very positive. And guess what? We also have this opposition between the sun and Jupiter also going on Friday. So that energy is really Thursday and Friday for the sun Jupiter opposition. Like I was speaking a bit before, this is massive expansion, whether it's you being seen, your vitality, meeting benevolent or generous people. That could be meeting them in real life, stumbling upon their content. It can be bigger for some than others. If you have strong fixed placements in your chart in and around, let's say 7 to 13 degrees, pay attention to that. If you have strong water energy, That's going to be very activated with all this Scorpio presence as well. So there's going to be something huge that takes place on Friday. And I think sometimes when I say something huge, people expect like a new job, a paycheck, a date. Those are all huge for sure. It can just be this inner knowing that it's all going to work out. It could be choosing to break a habit. Instead of eating this, I'm now eating that. Instead of binging this, I'm now going to go to bed early. Those are also monumental things that are going to set you on a new trajectory. So just pay attention to what your body is saying and what your soul is feeling on Friday, because there's massive potential for a shift to occur. And then we also see this moon opposing Pluto. This is like death and rebirth. This is an emotional death and rebirth. This is placing yourself in a new physical timeline based on how you want to feel, which is going to be supported by all the Scorpio energy, the Taurus energy, the Virgo energy. So a new beginning is likely. This also could feel like everything that you've learned and processed over the eclipse season is finally landing, and now you're ready to move forward. Yeah. Yes. Now, Saturday and Sunday are pretty similar in the sense that the moon is going to be in Leo the entire time. This could be, again, you learn something new on Friday, something big, something momentous, something very telling is being presented, but then you're scared. You don't want to move. You're like, what if this doesn't work? I'm feeling comfortable here. What if I fail? What if I succeed? All these what ifs and all these fears coming up because the moon is making that square to the sun in Scorpio. It is still making this square to Jupiter. So there's more of a likelihood that there's go for it, just do it, it'll be fine on Saturday. And then on Sunday, when the moon is making that square to Uranus, it's like that could be where you might feel like it gets worse before it gets better. Not that I'm condoning that mindset, but sometimes when we are going deeper into something, it can feel like, what did I just get myself into? What if this doesn't work? Like all those immediate fears when you go higher, like when you're starting to spend more money every month on your business, when you are going deeper into a committed relationship and you feel like there's more at stake, or if you're being vulnerable in a relationship or whatever that is, there's likely to be a moment of, oh, but if you can push past that and also use your words, right? Like we have the moon making that square to Mercury. If that's not with a person, that's just journaling it out, kind of talking yourself off that ledge, so to speak. This can also be an invitation for you to go even deeper. It's like, cool, my body is resisting this, or there's some kind of contraction. Why is this still here? I thought I did the work. I thought I cleared this. Let me go deeper so that my heart, moon in Leo, feels more comfortable, feels more safe, Taurus, to go even further into this career, relationship, financial opportunity, investment, whatever it may be. Okay. So there's going to be a little bit of work involved over the weekend, but it's for your best benefit. All right. Boom. So for the astrology question of the week, this comes from Mew Clothing. Hey, I have a question. Do you believe in the universe testing you? Example, throwing you a distraction just before a big breakthrough to see if you've learned from it. And if so, what are the signs? Yes, I'll give a personal example and I'll give a general example. So in 2020, this was February. Yeah, because it was Pisces season. So I was posting on Stillwater Alchemy's Instagram, which had probably like 300 followers, 400 followers at the time. I was posting these tarot scopes and they weren't uploading. It was when Mercury was retrograde in Pisces, conjunct Neptune. All the news stories about the pandemic were very erratic and nothing was uploading. And I was getting really frustrated. I was very, very close to quitting. I was like, this is ridiculous. And I was also even losing followers. So I was doing all this work recording the content. I was spending all this time uploading it. It wasn't uploading. I had to spend even more time uploading it. And I was like, this is insane. I'll just do something else. Maybe I'll go back to serving. Maybe I'll do whatever. And my mentor said, you work so hard. You've spent almost a year doing this. You can quit, or you can keep going and knowing it's about to get better. I was like, true. I already put in so much effort. I'm not going to quit now. So I kept going and kept persevering. And it's almost like things got easier for me personally after the pandemic, because I already went through a massive hurdle February and March of 2020 before everything went to lockdown. And then when we went to lockdown, I was like, oh, I have all this time now to fully just keep creating more and more content. And then things exponentially rose. And then here we are today. So that was me being tested. It's like, are you going to give up just because you're losing a couple followers and because it's taking a bit of time to upload? My Aries moon can be very impatient. I'm very grateful. I persevered and very grateful that I invested into a mentor years before that was still in my corner to hold space for me, to allow me the space to vent, to be frustrated so that it can move through that and move forward. Now let's use another example of a general example. Let's say that you are in a job where you're working very diligently, you're working for that promotion is going to lean a lot for you and your family. However, you've taken the initiative to create better boundaries so you can spend more time with your family, spend more time with your partner, with whomever. And you took the time to request vacation time. It is done, it is secure. Right before you're allowed to leave for that vacation, your boss calls you and be like, hey, it's an emergency, you need to come into work. And you're like, no, I took this holiday time, I'm going to go on this trip. It's like, no, we need you right now or else. And that could create a lot of fear. And maybe you've always had that mentality that you put others first before your own needs. And this is going to be a test. Like, are you going to allow a threat to derail you? Or are you going to respect that you went through the proper channels, that you placed this boundary so that you could have time for your family? That is up to you. I've been in certain situations where bosses have told me to come into work where I'm throwing up. And these were jobs for hospitality pre-pandemic. And I was like, I'm literally throwing up and you want me to come into where my boss literally texted me at the time. He's like, I don't care. Just come in. We need you. I'm throwing up. How am I going to make any bartenders? How's it going to look for the restaurant, all the reviews, if I'm throwing up? In my mind, I'm like, you can go, you can bartend, you can figure it out. Close the restaurant. I don't care. I'm not going to be able to work if I'm throwing up. A lot of people will threaten. A lot of people abuse power. A lot of people say it's an emergency in work, in personal relationships, because they know that's going to work. They know that tactic works. I'm not saying that you can't choose the job, but I'm saying if you created that boundary to honor the feminine and the masculine is being abused, and you've been grinding the masculine to the bone, that will be a test to see if you can handle honoring the feminine in a new way, or if you're not going to do that, right? I also see this all the time. I saw it a lot this week where I had clients exhausted. I had clients that were sick and they wanted to keep working and they wanted to keep seeing expansion in the work. It's like your body is burnt out, your body is sick physically, and you want to keep working. So we see this on a smaller scale as well when we feel like we have to do more in order to get ahead so that we can rest. So we're working harder now to think that if we make more money, if we get ahead in our job, then we'll have more vacation time or more time to rest. When you can just take that time off to rest now and trust that you'll always be safe in that, and that the work, the masculine, will have to balance itself out with the feminine, coming full circle, right? So those are some examples that I do think the universe is testing us to ensure. I know that's a contentious opinion, so you can take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. But truthfully, how would it make any sense for the universe to bless you with a job, a partner, a situation? Because there's always another person on the receiving end. So if the receiving end has done all this work, they've gone to therapy, they've gone through the trials, they've mastered this energy, and then you haven't, and to bless you with that. And then the other side is gonna be like, why am I blessed with this energy? I've worked so hard and this person isn't showing up. They're not respecting my boundaries. What is this? It's confusing. This doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Can you imagine training in the arena or the Coliseum and going battle after battle? And now you need to practice to hone your skills even more. And they send someone who doesn't know what they're doing, that's just sitting there eating pizza. It's like, I need to train, I need to get better. And you sent me someone who's eating pizza. That doesn't make any sense. We are always growing, we're always expanding, and everything is a mirror. You're going to be learning these tests. You're going to be going through these contraction periods before the expansion to ensure that you're ready to hold the next level, because the energy always rises, the stakes always rise, the money always rises, the love always rises. If you can't even handle a twig, how are you going to handle Excalibur? If you can't even honor a commitment with a friend and use proper communication, how are you going to honor a commitment with a partner, children, and their schedules, right? And if you disagree, that's totally fine. But I think that there's always opportunities to grow, and there's always opportunities where, since we are evolving, our priorities shift and where we put our energy is going to be shifting. So it's natural that we even test ourselves to ensure that we're ready. And with that, when we feel confident, we're going to vibrate at a higher frequency. When we vibrate at a higher frequency, there's going to be new doors that open, new people that we connect, because we are speaking the same energetic language. We are walking on the same energetic path to meet those people. It's like, I really want to be in Paris because I want to meet Parisian people. It's like, yeah, of course. Well, then you need to be in Paris to meet those people. Sure, they may come to your city, but if you want a guaranteed chance of running into Parisian people every single day, every single minute, you're probably going to go to Paris. And if you don't want to go to Paris, that's fine. You can stay in your local city. You see what I'm saying? If you want to be vibrating at that frequency, you have to stay at that frequency nonstop. And you're like, oh, maybe I can only go to Paris for a day. Fine, then go to Paris for a day, feel that frequency. And then you're going to know what that feels like when you go back to your home city to then maybe go back to Paris for a weekend, a week, 2 weeks, a year, your entire life. See what I'm saying? So let me know if that resonates. If you need any clarity, let me know in the comments. If there's anything that you learned, breakthroughs from the lunar eclipse, I would love to hear it. And please feel free to share your greatest victory of the week in the comments below. I love to read them. I love that we get to support one another in this community. And until then, have a beautiful week ahead. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.